I don't think most of our kids do get the fact that there are some of their grandparents that did not have electricity where they lived.
You could actually read at night.
I would hate to think what it would be like without electricity.
Every time we got that mixer out, my sisters and I would go, hooray for White River.
They're just there. They're always there, and you can depend on them. And you know that if something happens where there's a power loss, that it'll be taken care of quickly.
Welcome to the White River Electric 76th annual meeting.
Thank you, Charlie. No better way to kick off the 76th annual meeting than with a welcome and a little perspective from one of our longest-standing members, Charlie Brown. Just like our Valley's pioneering families from generations past to our current membership, White River Electric is in the process of adapting to a changing world, maybe most notable, our own electric industry. But we are proud that even amongst change, White River Electric is able to hold on to the traditions and values we hold most dear. Reliability, safety, community, and service remain our focus and define our core values. One of the changes that impacted us all the last year and a half was the COVID pandemic. This required White River Electric to pivot to a virtual annual meeting video last year. While we were pleased with the number of folks who watched last year and the positive reviews, we still miss getting together with our membership. So this year we combined the best of both worlds. Today's short annual meeting video and our first ever member appreciation event, which was held on July 23rd. It was a great night that welcomed over 600 people to the courthouse lawn to enjoy a free Lions Club taco dinner, Meekerpalooza music, the farmers market, and pickleball. Thanks to everyone who joined in the fun. Drawing for boxes of 4-H meat is another important part of our annual meeting. This afternoon, the election clerks will draw names from the members who submitted election ballots, and we will announce the winners later this afternoon on our website. We will also call the winners to coordinate delivery. With no further ado, we will begin with one of our most important traditions, the national anthem, sung by Meekers Ruby and Mason Holliday.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ruby and Mason. Although most of you know us, I would like to introduce the White River Electric Board of Directors. I am Hal Pierce and currently serve as the board president. Rich Parr, who serves as vice president. Bill Jordan, who serves as secretary and is the appointed representative to the Colorado Rural Electric Association. Bryce Ducey, who serves as treasurer. Ron Hilke, who is also appointed representative on the Tri-State Generation and Transmission Board of Directors. Mark Rogers, who is also the appointed representative to the Western United Electric Supply Cooperative, and Brett Dearman. It has been an interesting year, with declines in our large industrial loads, wildfires, retirements, and the pandemic. Even with these challenges, we think it has been a very successful year and that's the direct reflection of the hard work and dedicated employees. I speak for the entire board when I share our sincere appreciation for all that our staff does for this company and our community. Our employees' commitment to membership and this community is second to none. Senior management and staff have exceeded our expectations. They navigated the pandemic and tightened budgets with the same optimism and can-do spirit that has defined White River for generations. We are pleased to report that based upon current financial projections, White River Electric plans to pass along a rate decrease to all our members in January 2022. This projected decrease follows 2 years of rate stability and a rate decrease in 2018. Thank you again to this great team, which includes Alan McCallowitz as our General Manager and CEO, Trina Zauger-Brown as our General Counsel and Manager of Member Services, Dale Dunbar as our Manager of Finance and CFO, and Frank Sampson as our Manager of Operations. A special thank you to all of our administrative staff and operations crew who keep things going behind the scenes, answer the phones, and most importantly, keep the lights on. White River Electric would also like to recognize recent retirees, Toby Levitt, Sandra Garcia, and Cheryl Hauser for their many years of service. Congratulations to each of you on a well-deserved retirement. Now on to the essential business of the annual meeting. The presence of a quorum has been determined by the mail-in and hand-delivered ballots. At the July board meeting, the Board of Directors approved the following, and I hereby appoint Cheryl Mazzola and Peggy Schultz as judges for the election, Marcy Nielsen and Peggy Back to serve as clerks of the election. Thank you, judges and clerks, for your service. And a big thank you to Jean Wood, who served many years as an election clerk. Notice of the meeting, voting instructions, and ballots for the election of directors, bylaw amendments, and the minutes were mailed out to the members in August. A notice of the election and video meeting were duly published in the Rio Blanco Herald-Times. One director from the town of Meeker District and one director from the rural district will be elected today. Incumbent directors Ron Hilke and Mark Rogers ran uncontested. White River Electric goes through the election process even in an uncontested election. Ballots were collected through noon today. The election judges and clerks will count ballots in their normal fashion this afternoon. Results will be posted at White River Electric, on the website, and on Facebook. There are a lot of folks in our valley who can still remember when REA brought power out to their ranch. Mike and Jackie Brennan have some great light bulb moments of their own to share from Piance Creek.
One of the things that I really liked when I was that little was toast out of a toaster. And my grandfolks lived, about half a mile away. And a lot of times I would remember going over to my grandfolks, and they had a big old diesel electric power plant. And it was 110, and they could run a toaster on it. And so I'd go over there and have toast. That was the time of my life. And then REA came in must have been early 50s, 52, 54, something like that, I suppose. And that's the biggest thrill in my life was when we got electricity in our house and we got a toaster, man. I can remember waiting for the poles to be put up, and it was a big deal for everybody on Piance Creek.
When I was 5 years old, my folks brought us into town to go to the movie The Greatest Show on Earth. It was in 1952, and the REA sponsored a drawing on Friday night, and they gave small appliances to the winners. And my mother won a Sunbeam mixer. I'm telling you, I carried that sweet tooth and that Sunbeam mixer all over the United States and back to Rio Blanco County. And every time we got that mixer out, my sisters and I would go, "Hooray for White River." It was a given in our family that you always acknowledged that it came from White River Electric.
I would hate to think what it would be like without electricity. White River Electric plays a tremendous impact in this community and basically the communities around that it serves.
The Brennans did a great job of telling the cooperative story in rural America. While things may not be as remote or rural as they used to be, the value of reliable electricity remains the cornerstone of our economy. While electrons are still electrons in our industry, it's going through big evolutions. We want our members to know that we are proactively working with Tri-State, our wholesale supplier, and others to ensure that we can continue to provide our members with safe, reliable, and affordable electricity well into the future, regardless of the industry changes. White River Electric doesn't jump at trends, but we are committed to preparing for the future, maximizing efficiencies and new technologies that will benefit White River Electric and our membership. Wildfires remain a constant threat in our area and throughout the state. To be honest, it's one of those things that keeps general managers up at night. In response to this continued threat, White River Electric has focused heavily on danger tree mitigation and, as conditions require, implementing what we refer to as fire settings. Fire settings are reviewed daily and reflect current weather conditions. They allow for the system to quickly shut down if it dictates line interferences. We know that a blink or temporary outage is an inconvenience to our membership. We hear your frustrations and appreciate your patience as we balance the threat of devastating wildfires and reliability. It's an art more than a science, but we think we are getting better at it as the summer goes on. Even though we have an automated outage notification system, please continue to call to report power blinks and outages so we have the most up-to-date information and we can respond to your specific issues. Please go to our website to find the link to our virtual annual meeting report. The annual meeting report includes detailed financials, reliability data, capital credit information, details on our beneficial electrification rebate program, the 2021 Meeker High School Scholarship, the DC Youth Tour and Leadership Camp recipients. I also want to thank our employees who worked very hard to accomplish the board's directive to reduce costs where possible, to maintain reliability, and to continue to live by the do more with less motto. In August, members received WREA capital credits checks from 2007 in the amount of $1,127,000 and for an additional $729,000 for Tri-State G&T capital credits for 1996. I'm also very pleased to reiterate Hal's announcement that if our financial predictions hold, WREA will pass along a rate decrease to our members in January of 2022. White River Electric Association's finances are annually audited. Each year, the board reviews and approves the audit, and once again, we are pleased to report that White River Electric received a clean audit. As Hal mentioned, community is at the heart of what White River Electric does every day. Best explained by Meeker's Naomi Etchart.
I don't think most of our kids do get the fact that there are some of their grandparents that did not have electricity where they lived. So I think they have an idea of the history, but I don't think they realize how close it is. Pioneers are trailblazers, and that's what Meeker was founded on. Pioneers that came here to find a better life and to settle out west. And that's kind of what I try to instill in my students, is to blaze your own trail. White River Electric has been a pioneer in the energy industry for our community. From regular electricity to the hydro plant to the EV charging and our solar farm that's right here by the high school. Those have all been things that are practical uses, not necessarily trends, but things that will sustain and last. I feel like that future of electricity is very open right now. I think we have so many different sources of attaining electricity that I think that it's wide open.
Thank you, Naomi. As directed by our General Counsel, Trina Zauger Brown, I am pleased to report to the membership that there are no threatened or pending legal actions against White River Electric, and White River Electric continues to operate in accordance with its bylaws and all applicable state and federal laws and regulations. And with that, we formally adjourn our 76th annual meeting. On behalf of Allen and White River Electric, we wish you well in the coming year.